Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to What the Quote. I don't have a guest today. It's just me because I have a huge announcement to make. I'm excited about the announcement and also a little sad. So the big announcement is that Mimosa and a Masterpiece, beginning December the 1st, will go mobile. What that means is that the end of the month of November, will be my last time on Mass Ave. I know you're shocked. I was too, but I can't really say I'm shocked. What I am is realizing that it is time to pivot and do something new. And so I'm just going to spend some time this episode not necessarily talking about quotes, but just talking about really the last 9 years. So I am not closing Mimosa and a Masterpiece, but what I am doing is not renewing my lease on Mass Ave. And so I realized, so for me, this has probably been one of the most difficult decisions to make. Difficult because if you have been at Mimosa and Masterpiece, listen, the space is amazing. Like, I love it. And so um, it's it's bittersweet. It is. And so me sitting before you has been probably about 6 months in the making. Like a lot of people, COVID really allowed me to take a look at things clearly. Part of the look was physical in Mimosa and a Masterpiece in the place. And then the other part was personal in where I am in my life. And so one of the things that I was very clear about is two intentions that I set when I opened Mimosa and a Masterpiece. One of those intentions was that I really wanted Mimosa and a Masterpiece to be a place where I wanted to come, where I felt like it was a beautiful place because, I have another job. And so I don't want to leave one job feeling like I'm coming to another job. And so I wanted it to be a place where I wanted to come. I wanted it to also be a place where my employees would love to work. And I wanted it to be a place where, I call them friends and family, that my customers would want to come back to and would tell everybody about. And so that was one of the intentions that I set really almost 9 years ago. I mean, I still cannot believe that it has been almost 9 years. So that was one of the first intentions that I set. And the second intention was that my desire was that Mimosa and a Masterpiece would be a foundation for me to do bigger things. And, to be honest, 9 years ago, okay, to be really honest, 9 years ago, I felt like I was going to have my own talk show. Like, Oprah came out in 1986. I remember that because that was the year I graduated. So I was like, okay, when I set this intention 9 years ago, I thought, okay, so I feel like Mimosa and a Masterpiece would be a foundation for me to have a talk show. So, God is funny. Maybe this is a version of that. So I'm grateful for that. But really, I felt like I wanted it to be a platform for me to reach more people, to coach, to because my desire was to be a business coach for female entrepreneurs. And so I felt like in order to do that, I needed to have a successful business if I was going to coach other females in business. And so, okay, let's go back a little bit to maybe 6 months ago when COVID actually hit. And Mimosa and Masterpiece, of course, like a lot of other businesses, was closed. And what it allowed me to do was to be at home because forever, like this was just the place that I slept because I would leave work and then go to work. And it really allowed me to realize that I like being home. Like I like this place. If you know me, I like blue and orange. And so my living room is filled with blue and orange. And so I really just liked being home. And so that was really an aha moment for me. In addition to when I remembered what my intention was and, realizing that downtown is a little different now and that people are still being safe, which is totally fine. But I believe that those things help me to realize that maybe, people talk a lot about pivoting and, doing something different, but really like this was a great opportunity for me to do that. And I feel like one of the things that came out of the foundation of me building Mimosa and a Masterpiece was this podcast that you're listening to, But the Quote, because I knew that in 2020, I wanted to really, really get some good stuff in the midst of a lot of other stuff going on, maybe that I did not desire. And so one of the ways that I chose to do that was to continue to do things that I felt like pushed me, which is this podcast, because, I wanted to be behind the scenes for so many years. And so I felt like it was just time for me to really step into really one of the things that I desired. And so one of the things that I want to talk about is how Mimosa and a Masterpiece will look beginning December the 1st. So we're going to go mobile. And what that means is that we're going to do more Zoom classes. It means that I am in talks with restaurants around town. So we will be in some fabulous restaurants around town so that you can create a masterpiece and get some food and drink all in the same place. And so it's really about partnerships and really bringing two beautiful things together. Two things I love: a good meal and creating a masterpiece. And so that is one of the ways that it will look. Also, so we're going to be offering Zoom. We're going to be in some local restaurants. And then we're also going to continue to do what we've been doing, which is coming to you, your conference rooms, your clubhouses, your backyards, your houses, whatever it is. We're going to do that. So we're not closing. We're pivoting. That's what we're doing. And so here's the other thing that I want to say about that. I think I mentioned this before on the podcast, but in 2016, I trademarked Mimosa and a Masterpiece in a Box. And while I thought it was a fabulous idea, it did not take off the way I had expected until 2020. And so this process of me coming to the decision that I've come to today, not to renew my lease, So I want to talk a little bit about how it was personally. So Mimosa and the Masterpiece is like my baby for 9 years. It's been what I've loved, what I've nurtured, what I've cared for. Um, and so there was a point, maybe 3 months ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to close it. Then I was like, and I closed it, but not renew my lease. Then I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep it open. Then I was like, no, I'm not. So, I mean, and I was careful not to judge myself with that process because that's kind of like what I needed to do. It's what I needed to go through to come to the decision that I came to today. So there was maybe about 2 months ago was when I was really firm in my decision because I prayed. Like I prayed and prayed, and I'm like, Lord, you know how I feel about Mimosa. And, when I walk into that studio on Mass Ave, it's like, I mean, it's just a great space to be in. And so I'm like, Lord, like, you know how this is. But if it's time, if the season is over, like, I don't want to stay another moment longer, but I'm going to miss it, because it's just, if you've been to Mimosa and the Masterpiece, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I still walk in and I'm like, oh, like, it is so beautiful. Like, Jesus, look what we did. Like, we created this. And so there was a point where I knew that I had to hear myself say that I was not going to renew my lease. So I got on the phone and I made phone call after phone call of people who I felt who would know the weight that I was feeling in just me saying it out loud. So I took 2 days and I was just on the phone. I'm not going to renew my lease. I'm not going to renew my lease. I'm not going to renew my lease. Because I had to hear myself say it. Like I had to hear me say, I'm not going to renew my lease. And so there are times even, this podcast was probably, has been the most difficult podcast thus far because, this like really makes it real. And so even as I was talking to Dennis, he was like, you don't have nothing to prove, right? And so I was like, because there's a part of me that I was like, what are people going to say? Like, are they going to think I'm a failure? I gave up or, like, what is that? What are they going to think? And hearing him say that really kind of settled me to be like, okay, right, I don't have anything to prove. Like it's time. And so after I said it a couple of times and, listened to, even when I told my manager, Deborah, sometimes, we get on the phone and we're discussing stuff and we're like, okay, yes, I just, what do we need? And then, this last weekend she worked for me because I was in school and she was like, and I'm like, I know. So, but I really want to honor myself and feel everything that I'm feeling when I'm feeling it and not try to just bust through and, because it is, it's a part of the process. Me weeping some days and, being excited about new opportunities, like all of that is a part of it because that's a part of growing and releasing, embracing. Like all of that is a part of it. And so whew, so it has certainly been a journey. And, I really want to take these next few moments to just really thank everybody who has stepped through those doors on 614 Mass Ave. I mean, so many customers, so many friends, so many family members, people have come in and they have brought canvases and books and sketch and paints and all of the paint your vision boards that we've created. And just so many, I have met so many wonderful people. And I'm still looking forward to meeting more new people. But, it's just going to look different. And I'm looking forward to that. I really am. And let's see here. I'm looking over my list to see am I missing anything? Okay, so one of the things that I jotted down some things that I've learned, because I'm all about a tool and my hat. So I'm not gonna put my hat on, but there are definitely some things that I have learned over these past 9 years. And one of them is the value of being clear about what I wanted, but not necessarily tied to how it looked. And so what I mean by that is I was clear with the two intentions that I set. I knew that I wanted it to be a place that people love to come to, and that I wanted it to be a foundation for me to do more things. And so that I believe that's very important. Is a lot of people, they want to be happy, but they don't quite know what that looks like. And being clear is, okay, so do you want to inspire people? Like, is that a clear intention of yours? Or do you want to, in what way do you want to meet the needs of other people? So being very clear in what your intention is about your life. Because I believe that if you don't have a clear, it's kind of like having a destination, but you can kind of make U-turns and go around. You make pit stops, but you still know where you're going. That's what I mean. Like, have a clear picture of where you want to go. And so that's one thing. The other thing that I've learned about being in business is really anything, is you got to set it up right. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to set up a business, like set up the business, like get a checking account, set it up with the state of Indiana, get you an accountant, there are certain things that from my experience, have worked out for me. And here's the example. So last year, I got audited by the IRS. Clutch your pearls. And so when I got the notice in the mail, I called my accountant. I was like, listen, what happened? Did I do something? Did I not do something? Like, what happened? She was like, no, just no, it's fine. It's just your time, like your number just came up. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like what needs to happen? She's like, don't listen, give me the number, we'll call them. So they called whoever the IRS people are. They set it up so that they could come to their accounting office. They set up a room for the IRS person and just gave them all of the all of the documentation that they needed. I got a couple of phone calls over a 2-day period maybe. I think I ended up owing like maybe $70. And only because whatever they were asking me for, I didn't feel like looking for it. I was like, okay, how much does it cost? They were like $70. So I'm like, okay, can I just pay that? They were like, yes. And so just the peace that I got from knowing that can you call my people? Because I got some people that you can call. And so really just being at a place where I knew I had set it up, and I was like, okay, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to look over my shoulder. I don't have to do any of that. So that's number 2. The second thing that I've learned about um, being on Mass Ave is to have fun. You know, not work and work and work so much that I don't enjoy life. And to really, and even have fun by trying new things. That's one of the great things about watching people come in Mimosa and a Masterpiece who have never painted before. Because they're like, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I haven't painted a stick figure since the 3rd grade. If I had $1 every time I heard that you can't even paint a stick figure, like I would be rich. But just watching that light come on, and I think I'm a comedian, so I think I'm funny and I tell funny jokes. But really just have a good time while you're doing whatever you're doing. That would be number 3. Um, the next one would be the gift or the joy of releasing something so that you can embrace something. And so what I am releasing is the brick and mortar of Mimosa and a Masterpiece, not the other 17,000 other revenue streams that Mimosa and a Masterpiece offers. But what I'm leaning into now that I am talking to you on this podcast, and that I can say it without tears, is really the fact of me embracing that it's going to look a different way. And different does not always have to be bad or wrong. It's just different. And I'm excited about that. The more time that passes, it gets a little bit easier. I'm very excited about the different partnerships that I'm going to be in, as far as being at the restaurants. Very excited about that. We've done that before at Rick's and some other places, and it's just been a fabulous experience, I think, for people. So one of the ways that I've been able to really say it and be okay with it is because I have prayed a lot about it. And I've been like, okay, Lord, is this, can you give me another confirmation that it's good and I'm gonna be fine? And so, one of the ways that happened was with the conversations that I've had with other people who um, have had brick and mortars and have chosen to pivot in new and exciting ways. And also some of the clientele that I have gotten, just like, hey, we want to do Zoom. One of those is Tamika Catchings with the fever. I mean, it was so beautiful, like partnering with the fever and how all that came to be. And, just last week, getting a call from LinkedIn, like the linked, the LinkedIn people, the the LinkedIn people, like getting that confirmation for them is like, yeah, we want to do Zoom. And so it's really been a beautiful process of releasing and embracing, which is really what life is about. I mean, I just said to somebody today, I feel like my baby's going off to college, because a lot of parents, their kids are going off to college. And so while, yes, you're excited that they get to experience, maybe what you've experienced in college or maybe what you didn't experience and wanted to experience. But there's also a sadness of like, they're leaving home, like, oh my. So this is really life. Like, I am experiencing life the way everybody else does it. And I really wanted to share this experience and process with the people who I love and care about. And that is you. To all of the tens of thousands of people who have liked us on Facebook and the thousands of people who are on my email list. And I mean, just a lot of people who have been supportive of me. Like, I so appreciate that. One of the other things that I've learned in being in business is I can do anything I set my mind to. And I mean that. I mean it. Because when you know, this is the whole way that Mass Ave location came to be. I had gone through a divorce. I moved downtown because I wanted just the energy of downtown. I just wanted to be able to park my car on Friday and not get in it until it was time for me to go to work on Monday. And, to walk past Mimosa and Masterpiece and see the Black Apple, to just strike up a friendship. And I mean, everything, it was so organic. And then to be in those three spaces and just the flurry of activity and love and mimosas, because we make a me mimosa. It has been amazing, and it's so funny. And the reason why I say I can do whatever I put my mind to is because I had painted one time before. I opened most once in Atlanta because I went to go see my girlfriend Mimi, and she took me to a place like mine called Sips and Strokes. Like, I came back and was like, I'm doing that. And I did it. And so I say that because I'm no different than you. And you can do anything you put your mind to. Is it going to take some work, some resources, some sweat equity? Yes. And you can still do it, and it's still worth it. And so I really want to encourage you in these last 3 months of 2020 to really do the thing that you thought you were not capable of doing. That's going to make 2020 worth it. That's going to make it it it's gonna make a difference, you know, make it worth it. And so, um, let me look over my notes to make sure I've gotten everything that I wanted to say on this podcast. But okay, so let's talk a little bit about um, what it's gonna look like. So from now until almost the end of November, if you thought about coming to Mimosa and Masterpiece, if you were like, you know what, I want to have a party. If you had the thought, oh my gosh, I want to come see her space. I want to come say hi. Come on. Because we got until I think maybe November the 17th. So come down and say hello, say hi, schedule your party, like the page. So that you can stay connected to some of the great things that I have planned for um, this year and beyond. And so, um, you know, I want to be a woman of my word. So if you have a gift certificate, if you have a gift certificate, even if it is expired, even if you got it in 2011, come down and redeem your gift certificate because after the end of November, I don't know what to tell you. So, um, I'm going to be planning some really special things next month, just to show my customers some appreciation and some love. Um, because really, like that location has been the absolute best. So I'm very, very appreciative of that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is, have you liked the podcast? Have you subscribed? Subscribe to the pod. Come on. Apple, Spotify. Even if you want to watch it on YouTube, it's under my name, Tawana. Can you subscribe, please? And thank you. So here's one of the things that I'm going to do for everybody that is on my email list. I am going to give you a special gift. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you go to Mimosa and a Masterpiece and fill out the contact page and just say you want to stay connected, I'm going to send it out to every person on my email list. I think we had about a little over 7,000, because I really want to stay connected with you over the next few years. I really want to continue to hopefully inspire you and show you the love that you have shown me over these last 9 years of coming down to Mass Ave. Listen, fighting that traffic. Oh boy, listen. Whew, I know it's been something. It has certainly, some people it's been very frustrating because, they couldn't find a parking spot. But what I will probably do is I'll record it. I'm going to record an episode at the studio. But I really wanted you to know and really, really inspire you to do something different. Pivot. We hear a lot of people talking about pivoting. This is my pivot for 2020, is going virtual, going online, going into restaurants, backyards, and conference rooms, because we love team building. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I've moved past being sad. um, and so I really, really want you to live your life because I'm excited about the possibility of continuing to live mine. Um, so I was a little nervous at the start. I did not play my theme song, but I love my theme song. So I have saved my theme song and my dance to the end. So listen, I want y'all to get up. Let me see if I can let me see if I can pull my theme song up. Hold on a second. Let me see. Because I want y'all to dance with me. Okay? Y'all ready? Let me see if wait a minute, it's gonna take me a minute to find it. So I'm gonna keep talking. keep I'm gonna keep talking until I can find my theme song. So let's see here. Let's see if I can find. I don't know. Maybe I won't be dancing because it may take me a minute. Okay, let's see. Let's see if this is it. I wasn't. I was a little nervous, so I wasn't really prepared. Let's see. Oh, I found it. You see that? Here we go. Let's see if we can get this. Come on. Are y'all dancing? Come on. Are y'all dancing? Whew. Did y'all dance? I'm serious. Or was y'all just, looking at me dance? Whew. Okay, so that is it. I am going to play my theme song, which I'm going to hopefully do a verse on here over the next couple of weeks. But I really wanted to say thank you to everybody who has ever stepped foot into 614. And come on and schedule your holiday party. But really, like, I am so, so very excited about what God has in store for me. And I also want to thank each and every employee that has ever worked for me in these last, because it was like it was a little shaky there at the beginning. But I learned to trust my intuition. Even with hiring employees, if something didn't fit, if something was a little off, I was like, at the beginning I would hire them, and then it would be like, you should have listened to you. So anyway, that was another little tidbit. I didn't put my hat on, but thank you so much. I appreciate you and love you all. And thank you for listening to What the Quote. Here's my theme song. At What the Quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness. Be a kind human. Be a kind human. Hey, be kind. I love y'all. And we're doing it different. Starting December 1st. I'll keep you posted. Hey, if you want to still be connected with what we're doing, mimosa-masterpiece.com. Enter the contact information and say you want to stay connected. And I'm going to send you something. I ain't gonna tell you what it is, but I'm gonna send you something. I love y'all. Be kind to yourself and to others.